In this VideoNet interview at IBC 2013, I'm here with Stefan Jęzalski, Head of Multimedia at Siemens CVC. Hello, Stefan.
Hi.
So companion screens experiences are starting to gain hold in consumer behavior. Just how deep can the platform operator role become?
Well, I believe that there are many features platform operators will roll out, like video recording in the cloud, like Start Over TV. That means you can tape something which already has started and you're just dropping into it, but you can see it and watch it from the beginning, and many other services. But I think that is not the main answer to your question. The main answer to your question is that besides all these great features, which we will all be seeing rolled out in the coming years and months actually, the platform operator defines the user experience. They define what you can watch because that's what you see on screen, that's what you get offered. They define what is suggested to you. They do recommendations. They define this user interface. See, when you look at our product, for instance, the entire user interface is pieced together in every single moment whenever you activate it from what is good for you, what we think you should watch, what is interesting, what your friends recommended, what is now on live TV, and it's always a mix. You and me will always have different user interfaces on their handheld devices, on their phones, on their tablets, because we are different people and we get different recommendations. And that's exactly what these platform operators can do.
So you're suggesting a logging in process for each user?
No. If you see, in our product, your mobile phone defines who you are, what channels you have, what movies you can watch. If you're 18 years old, that all your personal device knows. Okay. Now, if you're in front of the TV, your TV behaves with that channel lineup. It plays these movies. If I walk out of the room and my 12-year-old boy stays there with his tablet or with a family tablet, of course, some channels may be removed. But the definition of what your subscription is, what it costs, what you have, is on your personal device. And also, when you and me, when we both look on our phones, we may get different suggestions. We may get different movies. We may have different lineups. You may have a gold subscription. I may have a silver subscription. So if we two meet in front of a TV, it must make sense of that and give us the availability of the channels we mixed have both. And of course, this is governing then what is on the TV. To me, the TV is a playback medium. And the process of selection and recommendation is happening here.
Okay. Can platform operators with this umbrella app help content owners to engage consumers around the television? Or would the best practice be for the content owners and the broadcasters themselves coming out with apps?
Well, I think we will see both, clearly. There are two strategies, and I cannot tell which one is doing better in the market. I believe that companion apps will also be heavily oriented in the area of advertising and advertising direct response. In our product and our customer base, we see a lot of requests now going towards direct response. Why? Well, because if this is your TV guide, if this is your EPG, if this is your channel lineup, well, you have that app open on your phone. And when you then see an advertisement on TV, you can respond to it on your private screen. How stupid would it be if you suddenly start to configure a car on the main screen because you saw a car advertisement and your wife will say, could you please take that off the main screen? Well, I want to see that crime story. Now, it makes a lot more sense to configure that car when you like the car, you see the car ad on your tablet or on your phone. You can save it here, it knows your phone number, the car dealer can call you back, they can make a sell. If you look at Google, they sell referrals, they sell leads. And I think television, with the use of companion screens, will learn to sell leads instead of just CPM-based advertisement.
Okay, well, we're some way off that, but if we move to your OTT Swipe, it provides an end-to-end solution to multi-screen and companion screen requirements. It also enables the operator as an app model for connected TV. And at Ditto TV, you have replaced set-top boxes. How does this model work?
Well, actually, we believe at Siemens that you can replace any set-top box by an app. What is the physical idea of a set-top box? It does three things. It gives you navigation, it gives you decoding, and it gives you something like permission, like a digital rights management. It makes you eligible to watch the content. There may be some scrambled channels, there may be some channels you shouldn't watch. It tells you these are yours to watch, and these you're not able or eligible to. Now these three things, permission, navigation, and decoding, all three things we can put today reliably in television apps. We do that with Samsung, we do that with LG, we do that with all of these brands, Sony, Panasonic, and so on, and we make these apps. And we guarantee to our customers that there will always be apps on the respective models. Whenever there's a software update, there will be an app updated. It will always work. Now, with this reliability, we can match the reliability of a set-top box. It's just as good as a set-top box, but there's no hardware needed. What does that mean for the operator? Well, they can cancel out the set-top box out of their balance sheet. They don't need to buy them, and it's really expensive to buy these set-top boxes. They're usually heavily subsidized, so you can save a lot of money by that, and it doesn't mean everyone needs that. Some people with older TVs that don't have smart TVs, that don't have Blu-ray players, they may stay with a set-top box. Some others, in some families, you'll find an app instead of a set-top box, replacing the functionality of a set-top box. Maybe in one room this way, maybe in one room this way. You can take off set-top box of your balance sheets as an operator. You can do better services. You can invest the money into consumer experience instead of hardware, which you ship out to the consumer. And you can do all the other things in a set-top box too. In an app too, you would usually do in a set-top box, like quality monitoring, understanding the consumer, getting feedback data. This all is doable today in apps.
So you mentioned quality there, and STB supporters, they point to QoE and channel change times too. They use that as an objection to your model. Do you see that as an issue? Does it change quickly for you?
Well, I actually offer to anyone who wants to try that we will emulate and identically program the user experience of a set-top box. And we are ready to do that match. We are ready to program this, and then you can see for yourself that the channel changing times in an app are identical to a set-top box, that the user experience gets totally identical, that the quality of service monitoring gets identical. Well, what is the failure rate of a TV? Does it stall? Well, it could. What's the failure rate of a set-top box? Does it stall? Possibly. We can match that. We can today match the quality level of a set-top box in an app. And of course, some of these parameters depend on the hardware. So someone who has a better TV with a stronger processor may have an advantage in channel changing times compared to someone who bought a cheaper TV. But that's the nature of the game. It is the TV, after all, with a processor that provides the processing power we need for making that channel change in the app. However, if you look at time, every month and every year now, these products get so much better. We started working only with connected TVs. Today we can use even the Blu-ray players, which have a little less processing power, throughout the lineup. For, let's say, in Samsung Blu-ray player, it's a very good product to replace a set-top box today. An Xbox 360 can replace a set-top box. We're doing this now in one project. A Sony PlayStation can replace a set-top box, the 3 or the 4 version. Any of these products can replace a set-top box fully. And I think it is also cool for the consumer because it removes that black box there and gets it off your living room. And there is something else connected to the internet and to your TV. And in the future, we'll see the smart TVs get better, faster. So even if there is a slight difference today, it's going to go away in the very close future.
Okay, and finally, you mentioned all the different devices. Can you get an identical user interface on all the different devices? Yes. I imagine that's a tricky task.
No, absolutely yes. That's exactly what we do. And I'm willing to offer a bet. I'm willing to offer a bet that anyone that brings us a set-top box and a system, we will actually program the identical app and there will be no difference in user behavior. I'm willing to offer that bet that we'll put two TVs next to each other. You don't know where they're coming from, if it's the app or if it's a set-top box, and you're not going to find out the difference. It's a new version of the Turing test, so to speak, we would do. And I'm willing to do that because we are absolutely certain that the future of television is over-the-top delivery, and it's going to be into apps on your smartphones, on your tablets, and on your TVs.
Okay, great. Well, we have that bet on record, so we'll come back to you when we'll see how it plays out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me.